Let's do a sewing room tour. I tidied just for you. I'm Amy and this is my sewing room. In case you missed it, I share weekly YouTube videos with sewing inspiration, tips and techniques, finished projects, and today I thought I'd invite you all in for a look at where I sew. We'll talk about all the storage, the machines, the fabrics, and anything else I can think to show you. So come on in, let's get started. I know I'm incredibly fortunate to have a lovely sewing room like this. It's one of our spare bedrooms in my house in Ilkley, and it's actually the size of about a double bedroom, which means I have loads of space to put all my sewing supplies, and it's south facing, so it's always lovely and sunny. My main sewing machine is the Janome 4300 QDC. It's fairly new. I treated myself to an upgrade. I mean, I've been sewing 15 years, so I thought I deserved it. And my favourite thing about it, it has an automatic thread cutter. I actually have two Janome overlockers. This one was given to me as a test machine. It's the AirThread Pro 2000D by Janome, and it's great for anyone who hates threading overlockers. I have two drawers in the desk. One is all my sort of machine essentials, plus specialty pins. The little pots have fasteners, press studs, safety pins, all things like that. Plus there's two big tubs of machine feet, like my ruffler foot, pin tucking feet, buttonhole feet, plus pencils, my little cleaning brush, unpicker, a bit of everything. And then the other drawer has extra pairs of scissors, specialty tools, pressing guides, turning tubes, all kind of things like that, plus a sneaky dib-dab. This is Spool the squirrel. He is a little wicker basket in the shape of a squirrel, and I use him to keep spools in, hence the name. He was a gift from my husband for my birthday, and he's just so adorable. I actually have two geese-shaped wicker baskets that I use for fruit bowls in my kitchen, so Spool was the perfect addition to the sewing room. My chair is very comfy, it's on wheels, perfect for the wooden floor. And for those who care, this is an IKEA 20-litre bin, perfect for all my rubbish. This old printer's tray doubles as spool storage, as well as little display on top for some fun knickknacks. And then this was a coat hook from my very first apartment that I've repurposed as hanging storage for tape measures, scissors and rotary cutters. Next up is my pattern cabinet corner, including this amazing vintage Singer poster that I have on the wall and some other fun artwork. I must confess the top of this cabinet gets very messy, but I use it to hold spools and patterns that I'm working on in the moment. The cabinet was gifted to me from work. I work for Simplicity Patterns, and it's an old dented model that came in mustardy brown and I painted white, but I think I'm eventually going to paint it pink. The rows are perfectly spaced for Simplicity Patterns, and I think it can take 5,000. Part of my job involves helping customers with sewing queries and checking patterns for accuracy, so that's why I have a lot of patterns, plus I have a lot of vintage patterns. Yes, so don't judge me on the size of this stash. My fabric stash is on the other side of the room. It's housed in a series of Kallax IKEA units that are stacked into this L shape, as well as storage for books and notions, zippers, buttons, things like that. There are 10 cubes of fabric. The 4 pink ones are my most popular fabrics that I use, which is viscose, crepe, linen, lightweight cottons, kind of dress weight fabrics in lots of prints and different colours that make me very happy. They're roughly organised by weight. And then the blue boxes contain silks, jerseys, bottom weights or coating fabrics, and then there are 2 boxes of fabric scraps for muslins and small practice pieces of fabrics. The silk box obviously has a lot of beautiful Liberty silks in there, I'm very pleased to say. The jerseys, hilariously, I seem to have a lot of red jersey. I also keep on hand a lot of interfacing. I have a huge quantity of regular and concealed zippers, as well as fancier coat or exposed zippers,
Plus there's lots of notions like tissue paper or carbon tracing paper crammed everywhere that I can fit it. This little cubby houses a huge spool of elastic and twill, as well as some vintage patterns that I've been admiring lately. Oscar de la Renta, Ralph Lauren. I really need to find a better place to store these going forward.
Silco Threads was actually in Dewsbury before it closed down, which isn't that far from me. And I've been collecting their thread spools for quite some time. I have a lot of the wooden ones all the way through to the plastic, more modern ones. And I just love all the names. So like here we've got Kingfisher, Frivolous Pink, Red Pepper, Forget Me Not, how lovely. And I keep them in my vintage Silco case, which I got from a car boot stall. And then I have two of the supersize spools. Hopefully you can see those. So this is Tangerine, and let's just show them for scale. It's a really chunky, supersized spool. And I just love the names on all of them. I think that just would have been the best job in the world, to be an official thread colour namer for Dewhurst. Kind of like when I was a teenager and I wanted to be the person that named the nail varnishes. But a lot of them have LT dot and then the colour, so like LT dot olive, pink, green, etc. And I know it means light, but every time I see it I do a little chuckle in my head and I think, Lieutenant? So yeah, Lieutenant Olive reporting for duty.
This cute Orla Keeley storage jar houses all my quilting clips, great for leather and thicker fabrics. And this painted blue little IKEA drawer unit houses bias tape and trims, things like that. I have a bit of a soft spot for cat-shaped pin dishes. And yeah, that's a giant huge telly that we got free with our broadband package. So great for watching Sewing Bee on.
What animal would you choose?
Frog? I love a frog. What would you choose?
Squirrel?
This cubby houses essential sewing books and like glues and sprays, things like that. And here's my button stash, lots of vintage and shop bought buttons in all manner of little storage containers, some real treats in there. My cutting table is a hand crank standing desk, so I can raise it to the perfect height, and then I have an overhead camera and two lights for filming, and that's great on dark days as well. The top is actually a cutting mat, so I can switch between a mix of scissors and rotary cutters. It's very clever, self-healing. I've got a whole video on this clever little clear mat if you want to learn more. I also keep my guillotine under the table. It's perfect for PDF patterns. I couldn't be cutting out anymore. This just speeds things up so much. And also underneath the table is my handy IKEA yellow trolley. It has like pattern weights, tape, essentials in the top, then my bias tape maker on the second row, and then lots of trims, rick-rack, all that good stuff. And it's on wheels, so it slides right under the desk. The bias tape maker is such a handy little gadget in the sewing room. I love making matching bias tape to go with all my projects, so that comes out a lot. I have lots of spool holders. I mean, you've seen some of them already. Here, 3 more that are above the cutting desk. And my dad actually made that one on the right to help me store bobbins. In the corner of Doom, there are like sort of photo shoot coloramas, rolls of fabric sometimes get there, and a full length mirror. And then of course I've got my cozy pink armchair, perfect for snuggling up in.
Introducing my sad little plant friend. He's not very happy, is he? Plants generally do really well in this house, just not in this room. Maybe because it's so hot and I'm very distracted when I'm in here, so I might forget to water him. Yeah, I think his days are numbered.
Okay, what's left? A vintage Dolly Mixture sweetie jar full of ribbons. That's the noise of my Aliso iron, which raises and lowers itself. And my Simplicity vintage Glamorous Ladies poster.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this peek into my sewing space. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about anything I showed you today, and I'll be back again soon with a new video, so make sure you subscribe and you won't miss out. See you all soon. Have a great week, everyone.